Mountain on top of mountain. Here on 75 North. Heading to Ironton, Ohio. That car's been through a lot, hasn't it? Still going through a lot, it looks like. Lots of funny exits up here north of Knoxville, Stinking Creek Road. Then you get into Kentucky. I think there's one called Toadsuck Road. Big Smelly Frog Creek Road exit. All kinds of crazy names like that. It'll look great when they're finished with it. Those ridge cuts are beautiful. Entering Kentucky. I always thought that was a cool little exit. Like the Bat Cave. Look how it just goes back there. That neat. These little mountain exits. Neat. Birthplace of Colonel Sanders, exit 29. Did you know that? Right here in Kentucky, of course. This Baymont Inn, I guess, has been here forever. I remember seeing some of these same hotels driving north as a kid. And even, you know, look at that. They've got that indoor glass covered pool. They've had that like forever. Since I was old enough to remember, that place has always been there. That's so neat. Welcome to Ironton, Ohio. That's a lot of power station activity there. The Ohio River. Officially in the city of Ironton. Small town Ohio. flood wall back there. They got a big concrete flood wall that just goes all the way to the length, pretty much the length of this part of the city. And that keeps out floods. That was once a big problem, flooding the town, but they got that taken care of with flood walls. See it? We did a video on it. I think it's my most watched video, which is pretty funny. It has nothing to do with me or Drew. It's about a concrete wall, and it has the most views for my YouTube channel. See it? Another part of the flood walls where they can just bring in a big sheet of metal and divide the towns, cut the water off if it ever gets to be a big problem. Isn't that wild? Got it. What river is that?
That's the Ohio River.
That's what I thought.
Yep. Major flood in 1937, as I've told you before.
I don't want to spread disinformation.
It is much wider than it was about 100 years ago, 150 years ago, roughly. It's because of the Greenup Dam that's westward of here.
I was way too impressed with the green and blue bridge.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, how many of y'all turn the corner and there's a gigantic blue and green
Bridge?
Yeah.
Bridges. 2 of them.
Not often. There's a giraffe.
Not a real one.
It's wild.
It is. It's out there in the wild.
Drew, you know anything about the blue and green bridges?
I know that about a year or so ago, there was, well, it would be close to a year now, there was some dude that ran into one of the structures on the green bridge, and as a result, everybody had to use the other bridge, and it would hold up. Wait times would be 30 minutes at times, and which is completely unnormal for a small town. I've lived in Tulsa, and you know, you have long wait times when you're on the road, I get it, but this is a very less populated area, and a 30-minute wait time in this area, it feels like an hour or so. But anyways, eventually that got fixed. I'm pretty sure that guy went into like protective services or something, because I'm sure he was threatened a lot, unfortunately. And this is the town of Ashland. Food trucks, we always love food trucks. I'm big on food trucks. Elijah, he tells me I'm not allowed, you know, and he'll even grab me and be like, just keep driving, Dad, you know, because I'm a stickler for food trucks.
They're great.
Yeah. Fat Boy Q, big one right there. Love my boys there. Excellent food, all the time, every time.
Camp time here in Drew. What's the name of this city? Cattletown?
Catlettsburg.
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 It reads as Catlettsburg, but check this place out. That's our camp for the evening, and the host of this campground, I mean, it's a private campground on Hip Camp. I think that's the name of the app they were talking about. Anyway, it's really nice. It's got a pond and everything.
Yeah, you should walk your happy ass down there and check it out.
Yeah, I will. Alright, I'm using this Jetboil now. And for those of you that don't know, you can get it in any camping gear store. You got your gas here. It's got like a cool little kit with it. And that's it's a little hand protector, and it's got a handle. But I'm boiling water, and I'm going to put this in this right here, beef stew. This is what's for dinner. Isn't this cool? So that, you know, yeah, the Army has these and stuff, but then years ago they started selling them in like backpacking stores, and now you can get them at Walmart. And so once that water comes to a feverish boil, I'm going to throw it in here, move it around, zip it up, and let it sit. Sergeant Drew's been maintaining the fire. Very cool spot. Sun's
Very
going
nice.
down. This was so much different than our Arizona hike and camp. They brought us here on their ATV and then gave us a wild tour with it.
Or side by side is what they're called.
Very nice.
So side by side.
All right. All right, it's boiling.
Because now I imagine Elijah, he's thinking that camping
is
is the Mogadishu run, you know.
okay. Gotta be careful pouring
Yeah,
that
you
in.
might want to like.
Yeah, there it goes.
Hey, you got a real high flame going on right there. And
I got it.
So
There we go.
now you got to seal that off.
All right.
You got to really seal it off like immediately.
I'll take my spoon.
No,
Give it
you
a
seal
stir.
it off. You seal it off. You don't want to do that.
You gotta stir.
No, you got to seal it off.
Got the boiling water added. Seal it up. Stir it. Reseal package. Wait 5 minutes. There you go. Delicious beef stew. This was the trail going up to our campsite. There's our ATV trucks. I was going up to here to see what kind of view they had. Hoping to see some deer this morning. Make sure they're not behind me. This campsite it's pretty awesome. They had the guy that owns the property, they've got I forgot how many acres it was, but he's got this all-terrain vehicle where he's got to take you up to the spot because it's too far to walk, especially with all your gear, and too mountainous terrain. And he's got a hen house, and he says you guys can have some eggs in the morning if y'all wanted to get them. That was pretty neat. But it comes with like making coffee with the Jetboil. Heating it up, and then when it gets boiled or pretty warm, you can add it to your cup and then add your instant coffee to it. That's what you use when you're camping. You know, you can bring your real stuff and filters and all that stuff. We don't have a process for that out here. This is perfect. Manage the temp. Left to lower it, right to raise it. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. That's probably good. That's the spot right there. Right beside that fire. Super relaxing. So I got breakfast queuing up. Look at that. Eggs with potatoes, sausage, onions, peppers. So this is the freeze-dried food. And when the water boils, pour it in. And when you're done, the oil burner breaks down. You put it in your little canister, and then it all seals up nicely, and you put it in the bag. Very cool. They called this the Jetboil Mini, I think.
Got some train tracks here for you. Beautiful, beautiful train tracks.
Look at the tunnel.
And heading on in there to at their tunnel. Good stuff. And you got some trains coming on up here. Juvies are. Not on the train. And that's a train.
Look out for that. Bouncing.
Oh darn, I just dropped my phone. Holding on to this one.
bridge is so cool. Coming out of Ironton, heading back home after a pretty cool camping trip. This right here is the most distracting thing ever. It's like a big iPad. This is a Ford Edge. Look, but while you're driving, you've got to look at that. And then you're trying to watch the road at the same time. Not safe. Shout out to Godfather's Pizza. It's still going strong out here in middle of nowhere, Kentucky. But that's cool, they still have those. That was good pizza. All those carnival games and such. What do y'all know about Godfather's Pizza? The rolling hills of the South. Remember that verse? It says our God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. Hotel on the hill. .75 north and south, right through this middle part of Kentucky, South Kentucky. It's cool to see where they blasted through to make the interstate many long time ago, many years ago. The village of Corbin, Kentucky. It's just a very recognizable part of traveling 75 north and south. As you see, you got these two gigantic hills, and at the very bottom is a cut through where they put a little exit. It's always cool to stop off there. So going back and forth from Bible college in Columbus, Ohio, a couple hundred times, you get to recognize and get familiar with some spots off the interstate that draws your attention or interesting favorite exits or whatever, you know, if you travel that much. I guess I kind of do on this road, so I kind of do have some exits if I'm near or recognize or need gas at a certain time. If it's near that exit, I'll for sure hold out for a good gas station or a good place to eat real quick, or something really cool to look at, like the Nature and Wildflower Museum. I know I'm recording a lot of green mountains here on the way back, but there's a lot of people that don't have this where they live or travel. Check it out. We're blessed. And of course there's bigger ones here in Tennessee and north of Georgia, North Carolina. Have some really, really, really tall mountains. But this is one heck of a pretty ride home, or going 75 north and south. Half the drive, I guess, or a third of the drive is just these beautiful rolling hills. Little welcome center here for Tennessee. Got it looking like a log cabin. Very fitting. The northern part of Tennessee, right above Knoxville, the Kentucky-Tennessee line. Y'all getting motion sickness? There's some mountain ranges out there. Camo bag, small one. It's detachable from the backpack kit. Wow, great job on the road. I know exactly where they need to work. Look at that. Like, for example, this exit here is always an eye catcher. They had an old Ferris wheel, and they got this firework rocket. Look at that. 2 Ferris wheels. I don't know if they ever worked, but that was a big fireworks place. Look at the big. It had its own gigantic entrance. Back in the day, that thing was well lit up, but not anymore. They just went out of business, and then all that stuff just rusted. And then on this side somewhere, there's a big cross, and then there's also a big gigantic green.